Hello, hello, beautiful humans. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. As always, I am so grateful that you are here with me today. If you are a member of our community and you are already subscribed to my channel, then thank you for being here today. If not, then welcome. My name is Bailey M. Bain. I am a yoga and meditation instructor, as well as a fellow endo warrior goddess. If you have not gathered, I had my endometriosis surgery in April of 2021, and ever since then I have been using my channel to document my symptoms, my surgery, my recovery, and healing without hormones. But I've been kind of diving a little bit deeper into my whole health journey with my thyroid, healing that holistically, as well as my mental health with a genetic mutation that I have. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit more about mental health and my experience with anxiety. It took me about 20 years to figure out what my anxiety even was and how to identify that. And so I want to talk to you about that today because it's so important. It's a generational thing that can end with us, and so that's why I want to share it with you. Before I get into my story, I know that nowadays anxiety is just about as common as however many people out there right now are wearing a red shirt. So leave me a comment in the comments below if you have experience with anxiety or any kind of anxiety disorder. I know that a couple times in my life I was diagnosed with some sort of anxiety disorder where I was prescribed medication, and for my anxiety, I stopped my anxiety medication kind of serendipitously. It was like during finals week of my last week of college ever, and I just kind of forgot to take my medicine for a week and weaned myself off the really hard way. That way, which I don't recommend. It was not doctor recommended, but I started getting myself into a mental health practice that I will share with you more on here to come. So my first experience with anxiety happened when I was 6 years old, and I don't even remember necessarily what was wrong. I don't know if that was the time that I injured my finger or what. I know that time in my life my parents were going through a divorce. My dad wasn't. He worked the midnight shift a lot, and I think he was moving out at that time, and so it was just kind of a weird period in my life of dad leaving and parents are divorcing and that kind of thing. So it already was a very weird time in my life, of course, to onset this feeling of anxiety, right? And so I don't remember the exact situation, if anything specific happened, but I remember I was laying in my parents' room and it was dark, it was nighttime, and I was watching Garfield, and I got that feeling, that almost tightness in my chest and that nervous flutter. I don't even know how to really explain it. It flashed in my eyes almost. It just made me feel really unsecure and unsafe and what is this feeling? And from that point on, I called it feeling like Garfield because I didn't know what it was. So all of my life, go through growing up, through elementary school, through middle school, through high school, I have experiences with anxiety. And every time I have that feeling of anxiety, I called it feeling like Garfield. And so no one could really, I was in and out of therapy at all those times in my life. But what is a therapist when you tell them you feel like Garfield? It just doesn't really, what is that? What does feeling like Garfield feel like, and what happens when you start to feel that way? It wasn't ever really explored that much. So I don't even remember if I brought it up in any kind of therapeutic sessions, but that's besides the point. So fast forward to college, I started therapy with a psychotherapist, and we started doing a lot of deep delving inner work, and that was in the time of my early 20s. And working with her, I realized that what my Garfield feeling was actually anxiety. And I was like, oh my God, for the last 20 years I've been calling anxiety feeling like Garfield because I had no idea what that was. And so I just, like I said, it's something that it's generational and it can end with us. And as a adult looking back, as a child, if your child tells you, like, I feel like Garfield, you're like, what does that mean? I don't know how to help you because I don't know what feeling like Garfield means. Of course, my parents didn't know how to help me through that. But what I want to express in today's video is how to help our children identify those big emotions, because as kids, these are really big feelings. And you know, I feel like helping our kids understand what their feelings are, it's as parents, it's as teachers, it's as therapists, it's as aunts and uncles, as cousins, you know, whoever, everyone, mostly everyone has experience with being around children in their lives. And so when they're feeling those feelings, helping them understand what those big feelings are, having them explain like where in their body they're feeling. Is it like a tightness? Is it like a nervous butterfly feeling? Is it like a hot, angry feeling? Like, what is that feeling? Where does it manifest in their body? And like, is it sad? Is it angry? Is it nervous? Is it anxious? And explain what anxious maybe means. And that can help them understand what those big feelings are. Another thing that I really love to do with my students as a substitute teacher, anytime I have someone who's got these really big feelings and they're trying to deal and feel, whether that's anger, whether that's sadness and they're crying, whether that is, you know, whatever the anxiety, whatever the situation may be, I always say, okay, stop what you're doing, look at me, and we're going to breathe in together through the nose. Ready? And out through the mouth. Okay, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And it has worked for everyone from kindergarten to a senior in high school. It always helps them just calm down and center and ground. And you know, these kids are feeling big feelings. They don't understand what those feelings are. They don't understand how to cope with it. Doing that exercise with them and not just saying like, breathe it out, breathe it out. No, doing it with them, stopping and slowing down and showing them that they matter enough to do that and take the time out of your day to do that. It shows them that you love them. It shows them that you care about them without you saying or having to say, I love you, I care about you. Still say those things, of course, but it's a way, it's a great way to help our kids understand, cope with, and learn their emotions. And I tell you this, and I think it's so important because during our last professional development meeting as a teacher, we had a elementary student in our district who I believe was in first grade, had an ambulance called to school because he was crying and hyperventilating so badly he was on the floor, and the staff members thought he was having a heart attack, but it turned out when the paramedics got there he was having an anxiety attack. And I just had all those feelings come rushing back over me as this little kid feeling like Garfield, and how scary that must have been for him, not knowing what was going on, not knowing what those feelings were, with everyone else around him panicking, and how much panic that would induce on him. Oh, it made me almost wish that I was there to have assessed the situation. And they put the whole school on lockdown so that the paramedics could get through and all of that good stuff. But it was just how traumatizing. I can't even imagine going through that as a kid. I mean, not to that extent at least. So yeah, it's heavy, that's anxiety, that's emotions. These feelings, they're big feelings, and kids can have them too. And you know, kids are human too, kids are people. And I just think that that's such an important thing to wrap our minds around, that kids are people. And so giving them the love and the patience and the time that they deserve. And so I hope that this video could help you in any way, even if that was a little bit, maybe just understanding and being more empathic to anyone else in your life. That's all I have for you today, my loves. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Happy healing. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Follow me on social media for more daily content. And as always, I'll be back every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday with more content.